Are you looking for the best gaming mouse? In this video we will look at some of the 5 best gaming mouse on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 1. Razer Viper V3 Pro. If money is no object, the best gaming mouse with a symmetrical design that we've tested is the Razer Viper V3 Pro. It costs a hefty $160, but it'll give you little to complain about if you play a ton of competitive PC games and can stomach the price. With its lightly grooved sides, noticeable but not aggressive hump and gentle flare-outs toward the back, the Viper V3 Pro's shape should be comfortable for a wide range of hand sizes and grip types. It's a bit on the wider side, and it probably works best with a claw or palm grip, but it's not so large or tall that it can't accommodate fingertip grippers. The main mouse buttons are contoured in a way that gives your fingers a natural resting place, and there are little ledges on either side to subtly nudge them to the right spot when you're scrambling in-game. Put another way, this is one of the safer shapes we've tested. The Viper's build quality is excellent. It's impressively light at 54 grams, which makes it a breeze to flick around in fast-paced games, yet its matte plastic frame isn't covered in dust-inviting holes like many other options around the same weight. We've seen zero hints of creaking, flexing, or rattling after months of testing. The finish picks up some finger smudges but is grippy and delightfully soft to the touch. The main click buttons use durable optical switches but aren't especially loud. Though they aren't quite as full or crisp as the absolute best mechanical switches, they're still snappy to press, neither too firm nor too light. The 2 programmable side buttons are well-sized and easy to reach. The scroll wheel, meanwhile, is tight and quiet, with clearly defined steps and a textured finish. Performance, as is the case with many high-end gaming mice these days, is effectively flawless. Razer's Focus Pro 35K optical sensor Gen 2 say that 5 times fast is basically overkill from a technological perspective but makes the mouse exceptionally accurate and consistent all the same. It's aided by amply-sized, smooth-gliding PTFE feet and a rock-solid connection to an included hyper-polling dongle. The latter lets the mouse reach a maximum polling rate of 8,000 Hz, but as noted below, few people will actually notice any benefit from jumping that high. Mostly, it'll just sap battery life. Razer says the Viper V3 Pro can get up to 95 hours at 1000 Hz, which is fine for this market and roughly consistent with our experience, but that drops to just 17 hours at 8000 Hz. If the price didn't make it obvious, the Viper V3 Pro is for gaming enthusiasts. As such, it gives up some of the perks you'd find on more mainstream mice. There's no RGB lighting or Bluetooth, while the power button/DPI switcher is located on the bottom of the device to make it harder to hit by accident. Since the device uses a special dongle instead of a traditional receiver, it still requires you run a separate USB-C cable from your PC or gaming laptop. You can connect over that cable when the battery is low, thankfully, but it's relatively thick. And while Razer's Synapse software makes it simple enough to adjust settings, it's something of a resource hog. It's also Windows only. These are all nitpicks, though. The Viper V3 Pro is outstanding, and it should feel right at home in the hands of committed FPS players. Number 2. Razer DeathAdder V4 Pro. If you want a premium gaming mouse with a more ergonomic shape, get the Razer DeathAdder V4 Pro. It packs most of the same strengths as the Viper V3 Pro in a taller, slightly wider, and more dramatically flared design that's tailored to right-handed users. Most people with medium to large hands should find it a natural fit with a palm or claw grip, though it's probably a touch too fat for smaller-handed folks and fingertip grippers. This kind of shape isn't as easy to whip around as the Viper, but its high, sideways sloping hump should provide a more relaxing place to rest your hand over the course of the day. Many of the things we like about the Viper V3 Pro are included here as well. It's lightweight at 56 grams, and it has a similar soft-touch finish that's pleasantly smooth without being too slick. The PTFE feet are a bit smaller but still glide reliably. There's a new sensor, the Focus Pro 45K Gen 2, but performance is still virtually flawless all the same. The notched scroll wheel is raised a bit higher, though it's still quiet and suitably tight. Battery life is better, though. Razer says the DeathAdder can last up to 150 hours at 1000 Hz, or 22 hours at 8K. That seems about right based on our weeks of testing. Compared to the last-gen DeathAdder V3 Pro, our previous pick in this spot, there's more space between the side buttons, which makes it easier to avoid misclicks. To improve long-term reliability, Razer also says it's reinforced the mouse's internal structure while adopting an optical encoder for the scroll wheel instead of a mechanical one, which are traditionally more failure-prone. We'll need time to see how effective those changes really are, but so far we've felt no signs of creaking or flexing. The scroll wheel also uses a full-size switch instead of a typical side button style switch, which helps middle clicks feel tighter than they do on most other gaming mice. Maybe most conveniently, there's a new dongle with a more evenly weighted base, which keeps it from twisting over on your desk. It also has LED lights to inform you about the mouse's battery level, polling rate, and connection quality. The main click buttons are still well-sized and snappy to press, though the optical switches underneath are louder and sharper sounding than what you get with the Viper V3 Pro. The right click button in particular is higher pitched than the left. It's not crazy loud, and some will enjoy the clearer sense of feedback. But if you live with other people that are sensitive to these kinds of sounds, they may get a little annoyed. Other than that, our only other real point of contention is the price. The DeathAdder costs even more than the Viper at $170. But if you've got the cash and prefer an ergo shape, it is a bleeding-edge device for competitive play. Number 3. Razer DeathAdder V3 HyperSpeed. The Razer DeathAdder V3 HyperSpeed, which costs $100, is an excellent alternative to the V4 Pro if you want something cheaper and more compact. It doesn't give up the rechargeable battery, cutout-free shell, and soft coating of the pricier Pro model, and while its sensor and optical switches are technically older, it still performs wonderfully. Its battery life rating is actually 5 hours higher than the Viper at 1000 Hz, plus it has a built-in storage compartment for its USB receiver. It's lightweight at 55 grams, and if anything some may prefer the sound of its main click buttons compared to the DeathAdder V4 Pro, as they're a bit less resonant. The major difference is that it's smaller, with a lower profile scroll wheel and a marginally shorter hump. The V4 Pro's updated internals may make it more durable over time, but if your hands are on the smaller side and you want an ergonomic shape, we wouldn't object if you grabbed the cheaper model instead. Number 4. Razer Basilisk V3. It's a few years old, but the Razer Basilisk V3 remains our favorite wired gaming mouse with an ergonomic design. This one is more aggressively contoured than ergo mice like the DeathAdder V4 Pro, with a large rubberized thumb rest, long main buttons and a rounded, moderately sized hump running down its middle. It's fantastically comfy for palm grippers with medium to large-sized hands, but it'll also play well with claw grips. Those who prefer a fingertip grip or just have smaller hands will likely find it too chunky, however. The design as a whole feels robust. There's some minor flexing on the bottom right side when you press down hard, but you'd have to go out of your way to notice it. The matte plastic finish is pleasingly textured and sufficiently grippy. The cable is plenty flexible, while the PTFE feet glide smoothly. We also dig the fun but not garish RGB lighting around the mouse's underside and scroll wheel. There are 11 customizable buttons in total, including 2 easy-to-reach side buttons and a dedicated sensitivity clutch that lets you momentarily drop to a lower DPI for moments where you may need to aim more precisely. The latter will be particularly tough for the smaller-handed to reach comfortably, though. The Basilisk V3 uses older optical switches than our other Razer top picks, but we haven't had any durability issues after a couple years of testing. While main clicks aren't nearly as fast as those on the endgame Gear OP18K V2, they strike an agreeable balance between firmness and speed. They aren't all that loud, either. Similar to the Viper V3 Pro, the buttons are grooved in a way that naturally invites your index and middle fingers. The scroll wheel might be the weakest element. It has clearly defined steps and an easily identifiable texture, but it's fairly loud and a bit wobbly. That said, it can tilt side to side, which helps explain the wobbliness, and there's a built-in toggle that lets you swap between a normal ratcheted scroll and a free spin mode. That can be handy outside of games, say, when you need to scroll through a giant document or Excel sheet. Razer's Synapse software is still naggy with updates in Windows only, but it makes customizing DPI levels, macros, and RGB effects simple enough. You can save up to 5 different profiles to the mouse itself, though your lighting customizations won't carry over. We haven't had any major issues with sensor accuracy either, but at roughly 100 grams, the Basilisk V3 is obviously heftier than the ultralight mice we highlight above. While you absolutely can go off in Counter-Strike or Valorant with it, the mouse's weight and wide frame mean it's not expressly designed for games like those. It also can't go above a 1000 Hz polling rate. In many ways, this is the exact opposite of the OP18K V2, a device that feels designed from the ground up for competitive fare. Instead, the Basilisk V3 makes sense for righties who want a comfy and reliable mouse they can turn to for more casual gaming across genres. Razer sells it for $70, but since it's usually available for less than $50 at third-party retailers these days, you can consider it our pick for the best budget gaming mouse as well. It's worth noting that Razer has a slightly refreshed model called the Basilisk V3 35K. That one comes with a technically improved sensor and newer optical switches, though the weight and overall shape are virtually identical. Given that we didn't have many issues with the tech inside of original V3, we'd still recommend getting the older version while it's still in stock and available for less. If you see the 35K model on sale for a similar price, though, feel free to get that instead. Number 5. Pulsar X2 CrazyLight. The $130 Pulsar X2 CrazyLight is worth considering over the Viper V3 Pro and Hitscan HyperLight if you're committed to a claw or fingertip grip and spend all your time playing twitchy shooter games. We're starting to wonder just how many prefixes for the word light these mouse companies can slap onto their products, but the CrazyLight's name is appropriate, as it weighs a mere 37 grams with its standard PTFE skates. It's another short symmetrical model, comparable to the Hitscan HyperLight in overall footprint, but it has a flatter hump down the center. That means it won't really fill out medium to large hands with a palm grip. But it's comfortable for everything else, and its slight frame feels natural in games that demand snap reactions. You know how baseball players will sometimes swing a heavier bat when they're on deck to make their actual bat feel faster? This is sort of like the mouse equivalent of swinging that lighter bat. A reliable sensor and easy gliding feet help, while the clicky optical switches are fast without feeling too sensitive. Expect a sharper tone, though. The scroll wheel is well tuned and precise. There's no creaking or flexing despite the low weight, and it's all coated in a pleasing matte plastic. It also comes in a few fun colors. The 2 side buttons are somewhat thin, and Pulsar's software is a little clunky. This is also another one with an open bottom side, so it's more susceptible to dust than the Viper V3 Pro. Nevertheless, while the CrazyLight isn't quite as welcoming to all hands as Razer's mouse, it does what it sets out. 76 YTY.